What is up, everybody? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy December. This is my year-end series for 2021, and we have a new video in the works. This is a Christmas movie review. This is the Walton's Homecoming 2021 remake. This is the Walton's Homecoming 2021, not the original Walton's Homecoming. Let me make a big announcement of that. I'm going to get to that in a minute. This is the fuck-up version by Richard Thomas. That scum. That asshole. We're going to get to him in a minute. I hope you follow me on Twitter, at Sean Murray NJ. I talk about the Waltons a lot. I review the original episodes almost every night on my Twitter. I dissect them. I watch them. I've watched each episode about 70 times, all 300 and something episodes, the movies, the specials. So when I found out that one of my favorite of all time, the pilot episode, which actually was a movie to see how the show would do before it came into a series, the Walton's Homecoming was the pilot episode movie. It was a Christmas movie about different actors too, except for the kids. The grandfather, the grandmother, Ike, the store owner, John, Olivia, they were different actors. Patricia Neal. They were different actors than what had become on the series. But later on, when it became the Walton show, the kids were the same. But the other actors were different. Michael Learned, Ralph Waite, Will Geer, Ellen Corby. So you had that. Now, the Walton's Homecoming was about, it was a Christmas movie with that real, true Christmas spirit. Not like a lot of the movies today, not a lot of the commercialism. It was about Christ, religion. It was about being thankful for very little that you had. They wanted their father to come home for Christmas. He went away for work to make money to afford gifts for the kids. And he was pretty much traveling home to be with them on Christmas morning. The mother, all she cared about was having her husband home. They didn't care about PlayStation 5. They didn't care about Xbox Series X. They didn't care about diamonds. They didn't care about Lexus, Tesla, Nest, home security, Ring doorbell. They cared about the father coming home, okay? And the father being with them, on Christmas morn. Simple as that. So there was a lot of care, I believe, put into this movie, and that's why 100 and something episodes followed. There was a premise there. Now, I went to the Waltons area when I went to Virginia. My grandmother for many years lived in Virginia. My aunt lived in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So we went to Virginia. We went to Ike's store. We went where it was filmed. We went where Cora Beth was. That dirty bitch. We went to the junkyard where Jim Bob got his Rolls Royce horn. So, we went to the Dewdrop Inn where Jason used to play with Bobby Bigelow. So, we really respect the Waltons. And we've watched The Homecoming piece by piece, like Kelly Clarkson said in the song. So, the dialogue, the care that was put into that movie, and of course branched off into the series that you know today. So, I mean, think about it. If you think about it, the series started with, say, Elizabeth as a baby, basically, a little girl, all the way to when, she was making out with Drew on the couch. Think about that. So this went through the whole course of their life, right to college and whatnot. So this was a long show. This show was on air for a long time. And it all branched off of The Homecoming. So when I found out about The Homecoming 2021, I couldn't wait. I'm going to tell you this right now. What a dumpster fire. What a cringe to the max. You want to talk about... When I found out that John Boy was... Richard Thomas was behind this, he was going to narrate it, I knew total destruction. Let me tell you something. This movie looks like it was made by people that never watched The Homecoming, don't know about the characters, don't know about the Waltons, but more importantly, have no idea about the Homecoming movie. How do you make and direct and produce and cast? Oh, that's another thing. The Homecoming movie and never watched the original. I should have directed this movie. It would have been fantastic. I would have made this movie big money. Now they said, "Oh, we're going to see how the movie does, and then if it does good, we're going to continue the show with the cast." I will donate and send them money to not ever hire these actors again. I think what happened was they got together with Richard Thomas and they said, let's cast actors that never acted in their life and that are so cringe because we don't have to pay them. I think the budget for this movie must have been no more than $5. If they paid more than $5 to make this movie, they got screwed. The actors are so cringeworthy. But it's not even that, though. Everything is wrong with this movie. The dialogue is wrong. They left so much out of this movie. They added things to this movie. Things that have nothing to do with The Homecoming, that don't add to the story. Let's talk about the fine nitpicky things. And then let's get into the big things. Because even the nitpicky things are important to this movie. Let me tell you something about The Homecoming, okay? I watched The Homecoming with a fine-tooth comb, and I watched this one also. This is so wrong. To the beginning of the movie, you can watch a video of it on my YouTube channel. Richard Thomas comes out and introduces himself and says, I'm going to be narrating this, and this is The Homecoming, and we're going to, and it's a tale of blah, blah, blah. From the intro of the movie with Richard Thomas as John Boy, he's got the scarf on. Right then and there, I knew it was a disaster dumpster fire. Look at the cars, how pristine they are. The freaking rims on the cars are shining. Like something you would see from, like, the car show. Collecting cars with Danny. Or something you would see auction at Pawn Stars. The way their clothes. The one guy had a Carhartts, a car parts, whatever freaking jacket from like Tractor Supply. Kohl's clothing, high-end clothing. Their clothing was pristine. They were clean. Their house was immaculate. They were dressed to a T. They had shoes on. One kid had Nike on. Buster Brown. Walton's didn't live like that. The town didn't look like that. It was run down. They were dirt, piss poor. It was a red clay area. They had no money. The cars were run down. The cars were rusted. They had shaggy clothes. The mother freaking made them a scarf for Christmas. So all that was wrong. I mean, wrong. How could you get that wrong? I thought one of the kids was going to bust out an iPad. I wouldn't have been surprised. Oh, here's John Boy with his Surface Pro 7. Here's John Boy with his Switch. Hey, the Wi-Fi ain't working. Where's Jason? Oh, he's upstairs on Twitch. Another thing, the language. The language was atrocious. A terrible swearing. The kids were bratty. The kids were not respectful. They were cutting the father up in the beginning of the movie. Oh, yeah, I had that fight with Dad. I told him to go screw. He said he wants me to be a farmer. I want to be a writer. Oh, yeah, we had it out. They said ass. They swore left and right. They smoked. And God knows what else they did. They were rotten, bratty kids. The kids in the Waltons were pure and loving. And you could attach to them. These little fuckers, you didn't want nothing to do with them. You couldn't wait for the movie to be over so you didn't have to look at their ugly fucking faces. And the fucking depressed fucking puss-ons that they had during the whole movie. Like, why the fuck are you pissed off at? You know, the whole part of the Waltons was, the best part of the original Homecoming was when the father came home, you were so happy when they opened the door and it was him on Christmas Eve. And he gave the kids the gifts and he told them the story about Santa on the roof. When you saw the father in this movie at the end, you didn't give two shits. So, I said to myself, who cares about him? First of all, he didn't make it home on his own. Stupid, dumb John Boy brought him home, and he brought him to a church. A church that they were all at singing. And even they saw the father, and they're like, oh yeah, big deal, you're here now. And he got him from a bus crash. Then, through the movie, they showed you clips of the father and what he was up to. You never saw the father in the original movie till the very end. They added things. They added a scene with John Boy with his girlfriend on a horse. When did that happen? They showed you these angles of this fancy house with like portrait frames that they got from like AC Moore. And it was like, it was cringe to the max. The Waltons didn't have that. That never happened. So they added all that stupid shit in. But they left the most important stuff. The part where they went to the Baldwin sisters, which, by the way, looked more like the Pigeon sisters in this movie. They went to the Baldwin sisters and they said, you know, John Boy said, I got to find my daddy. I got to get gas. And they all get together in the sleigh, in the carriage ride, in the snow. And the road gets blocked. That never happened. They give him the eggnog and the mother flips out. I got children in this house. That never happened. All the best key moments of the movie left out. What do? We add some stupid scene with John Boy and his girlfriend on a horse. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about John Boy? This movie is about the father and the mother and all the struggles that they had. They never talk about depression. They never talk about struggling. They talk about who's getting what. What's this whole deal, too, with John Boy buying the doll? That never happened. The whole missionary part where they're supposed to go and see the missionary girl, a woman, and she asked them questions about the Bible, never happened. You don't see that in this movie. Another thing left out. Who gonna help me make my applesauce cake? They took excerpts, they took little quotes, famous quotes from the movie, But they didn't use the quotes where you would normally hear them. They just added them willy-nilly. Like Aaron saying shit, walking in the kitchen, or Elizabeth saying certain shit. I wish my daddy could fly. That's not how it went down. Has nothing. They just said it just to say it. Dude, the kids, the actors never watched the original. You could tell how they were acting. They never sat down and watched the original. Could you imagine making a movie and hiring actors and they never saw, like, if you're going to redo Top Gun, or you're going to redo The Exorcist, or you're going to redo Die Hard, or you're going to redo Halloween like Rob Zombie, and you never sat down and watched the original or studied it, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to make a movie, a remake, without watching the original? And don't tell me they watched the original. They did not watch it. They couldn't recite one line from the original. Because it sure as hell wasn't on the script on the new one. Nothing that made sense that happened in the old original was on the new one. Nothing. And there's things that you remember about the old one. Dude, listen, if you went into this movie and you watched this movie not knowing about the original, I don't know what's worse, because you're not going to know, you're not going to care. Yeah, you're going to be pissed off, like me, if you know about the original, because you're going to compare it. You're going to be real pissed. But if you watch this movie and you don't know about the original, you're going to be even more pissed, because you're going to say, wow, this terrible B-rated movie that I give two shits about. And like less than an hour later, you're going to completely forget about anything you saw. You're going to completely forget about dumb John Boy. Oh, one good thing they did do with this movie is they found a John Boy that's just as unlikable as Richard Thomas. They found a John Boy that fucking makes no sense. So that's one good thing they did. He looked like Tom Brady. Another unlikable John Boy that you want to punch in the face. Not as much as Richard Thomas, but you still want to punch him. Okay? Cringe to the max. Cringe equals max. This is not the Waltons, okay? Please don't recast these stupid people. Don't ever, 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 ever touch the franchise again. Don't take these people and make it into a comeback series. Nobody's going to watch it. I read the forums. I read the Reddits. I read the Twitter. I read the YouTube comments. Nobody liked it. Nobody. I think I found two people that thought it was decent, but they had their brain removed. There was nothing. What gets me is the most thing that gets me mad is that they took so much out, but the stuff they added was terrible. So you actually took the most memorable moments out of the movie, but took the time to record stupid scenes that nobody cares about. Like John Boy and Jason in the barn cutting up the father, or John Boy's girlfriend riding in on a horse, or all these scenes with the father on the assembly line and going to work and on the bus with his friend talking, and all these scenes with at the church, and like dude, we don't give a flying shit. Where the fuck's the real fucking Waltons? Where's the real shit? How about cameos? How about something with freaking Michael Learn? How about something with the other kids? How about, I don't know, something? There was nothing. There was no feeling at all of the Waltons in this homecoming at all. Like, you know, they say, oh, well, you know, the Brady Bunch did it for the Brady Christmas. It was them. Okay, it wasn't Susan Olsen. It wasn't Cindy. But it was the freaking Brady Bunch. And it felt like the Brady Bunch. And later on, that became a show with the husbands, with Wally and Philip. that was the Waltons, though. I mean, that was the Brady Bunch, though. This was not the Waltons. This wasn't a reunion. This was a remake. This sucked. I'm giving this movie a -10 out of 10. This was terrible. Richard Thomas, you should be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't be able to walk the streets without having egg cartons thrown at you. Eggs are too good. The garbage should be thrown at you. Actually, no. Garbage is too good. How about feces from animals? You should be ashamed of yourself. You should not show yourself. You know, do you notice after this movie aired, you don't see anything with them? You don't see any of the actors? You don't see Richard Thomas? They're ashamed of themselves. They're so ashamed. The network, CW, must have said to, oh man, don't freaking air this thing again. Imagine the people like me that wasted their DVR space on this atrocity of a cringe fest, train wreck, dumpster fire. That's all I got to say about the Waltons' Homecoming. I could go on and on. I could actually go on about this movie for the next 3 hours. I got my point across. I'm mad. This is bad. Take care, guys. And happy holidays. John Boy, what a piece of shit he is. That stupid Richard Thomas. He ruined the Waltons again.